My morning started off with a few of my blue jays, one being Squawky, haven't seen him in a little while. His mate was here too, and Feisty Jay. Wasn't long before a ruckus broke out because of Hoppy's mate. He didn't want to cause any trouble though, just wanted to get some peanuts. Lentil showed up after. I guess the noise from the jays caught her attention. I've noticed that nuthatches hammer on the branch when they are annoyed. In this case, Lentil was annoyed with me for not giving her a peanut pronto. Blue showed up down here too, confirmation that Sweet Girl is finally on the nest. Lentil was able to grab a peanut after Blue, and that male nuthatch was here with her too. The two chickadees I don't know well, I only met them over winter. My sweet Hermoso was here now too. I gave him a couple pieces of peanuts which he immediately ate. I guess he's a hungry boy today. I noticed that a jay was up on top of one of the trees. I thought for sure I heard Hermoso communicating to it. Starting to think this is a female and possibly his mate-to-be. Up a little further, I was greeted by a sweet little angel and her mate Mini-Tim. The male nuthatch had followed me up too, and a hormonal intruder joined him. He really does seem to be entertaining both Lentil and Intruder. Interesting. I visited Hatch and Maggie a short while after. They don't seem to be doing anything with that nest hole anymore. I think they are building a new one somewhere else. Maggie was shivering her wings a lot though, and she is pretty hormonal. I guess she'll be nesting soon. Maybe they were digging out 2 nest holes at once. A lovely white-throated sparrow noticed us and came by for a peanut. Love those sparrows. Sweet Girl came off her nest to collect a bit of food too. Down in the shrubs I noticed an adorable ruby-crowned kinglet. On my way back home I saw a blue jay I've never seen before, and then I saw Hermoso giving it a peanut. It's his new mate. I'm so happy for him. Blue was nearby too, patrolling his territory. I gave him some food on the rock and then left. It's so nice to feel the spring air again and to see the birds being able to go wherever they want again. Damn close to home I saw Hoppy's mate. He looked lovely, those pretty feathers. This time the morning started off with some courting jays down close to home. Even Blue was in on this, and Feisty Jay too.
Now we have Blue, Webster, and Feisty Jay.
I put my hand out for Blue to get a peanut, but he wouldn't because Webster and Feisty Jay were there. Once I gave Webster a peanut though, Blue happily took a peanut. Just in the nick of time too. Feisty Jay would have happily booted him off. One of Hoppy's youngsters came by. This is Tickle. I named him or her that because he has this sort of cough, like a tickle in his throat. Always had it right from when it was a baby back in 2013. I wanted to see Hermoso and his new mate, but she was too skittish. I only saw Hermoso. I saw Sweet Girl up in her territory. I could very clearly see her nest. I didn't even want to find her nest. The nest hole Hatch and Maggie were digging out is literally like 50 feet from her nest. I guess that's why they abandoned the nest hole. Blue showed up while I was here. He spotted a squirrel down on the ground and wasn't happy about it. Looks like the squirrel was just retrieving an old cone it hid away. I didn't stick around for long. Down further, I put some seeds on a stump which was meant for the nuthatches and chickadees, but the pesky squirrels quickly discovered it. 3 freaking squirrels. Rowdy bunch too. Eventually, the other squirrel managed to get in to have some seeds too. For the first time since spring, I saw purple finches, a female and a male. The happiest surprise of them all though was Hoppy, first time I've seen her in weeks. I guess she took a little break from incubating her eggs. Sweet little crow. Blue was down here too, and Webster. A lovely spring morning. I went up to check on Sweet Girl. She was on her nest. I noticed her mouth was open and she was panting. Poor girl is a little overheated today. I bet it gets hot in that nest. Then Blue showed up with some food for her. Aw, so sweet. What a good boy. Not a trip out here goes by without at least one white-throated sparrow coming to me for a peanut. Hoppy's lovely mate followed me up pretty far today. Made for a great opportunity to get some new and good close-ups of a crow with my new camera. I got to see 2 female woodpeckers on a pole fighting over territory too. I was close to Blue and Sweet Girl's territory now, so I went in to check on Sweet Girl. As always, I found her on the nest. I left her alone and went to see if I could find Hermoso and his mate.
What do you want? Hello.
On the way, little Gray Jay came by. I had moose sausage for him again. I bet he likes that stuff.
Hi, Blue.
Blue showed up too,
Good
and
morning.
Hermoso soon after.
Blue and Hermoso.
His mate stayed back a bit, never came close. I witnessed Hermoso giving his mate a peanut. Never gets old to me. I also saw Feisty Jay's mate. And just like with Sweet Girl 2 days ago, I just so happened to be near to where she was nesting and saw her go to the nest. Do these females want me to know where they are nesting or something? I never had any intentions of searching for any blue jay nests this year. Lentil and that male came by soon after. It's been a few days of me trying to figure out what's going on, but I saw Lentil up in a tree shivering her wings like a baby bird. She was wanting him to feed her. I guess they are definitely a pair now. It's been a couple days since I saw Intruder. I hope Intruder is doing good out there wherever she went. I had to devote my day to working on videos, but by 7 p.m. I was itching to go out for a very quick visit, and I mean very quick. The sun was setting, so I couldn't waste any time. I went straight to Sweet Girl. I waited for Blue to show up, but when a half hour passed, I went to look for him. On the way, I saw Hermoso, and a moose was right out on the trail. See that blue streak? That was Blue. What timing! With it getting pretty dusky, I went home. I have more work to do tomorrow, but I'll see them in a couple days. Lentil, her new mate, Angel, and Minnie Tim were the first birds I saw today.
Angel.
Webster came by soon after and hid a peanut away. Then Blue showed up, which upset Webster.
Hi. Ready?
That cute male northern flicker was up in a nearby pole calling out to a female. Best of luck to you, little guy. Out on the trail heading out toward Hatch and Maggie's territory, Hatch greeted me. And Speck the boreal chickadee too, as well as Bud the chickadee and his female.
Hatcher. Hatch. Bud.
Blue, Webster, and Feisty Jay had followed me. Now Blue was the one upset with the jays intruding on his territory. Hatch followed me into the woods, which was when little Maggie came by long enough to collect a peanut. There were too many jays around for me to check on Sweet Girl. I don't want to attract any unwanted attention to her nest. So instead I went to see Hermoso. Looks like he just had a bath. A little white-throated sparrow came by too. As far as I can tell, this is their contact call. The little gray jay showed up shortly after. I had some leftover steak for him. After collecting some food, he went back across the highway. A little time had passed, so I went back up to check on Sweet Girl. On the way, I came across Christmas lights.
Christmas lights, not something you'd expect to find out here.
Another little sparrow came by. I gave him a peanut and he went on with it, happy as can be. Blue and Sweet Girl greeted me up there before I even got to the nest. Sweet Girl had a quick snack and then returned to the nest. After that, I left. I don't like sticking around for too long. Next, I checked on Feisty Jay's mate. It was perfect timing. Feisty Jay arrived with some food for her. I was so happy to get that lovely shot. Out of the woods and away from the nest, I saw Ernie. Even though it wasn't anywhere near the nest, Blue and Feisty Jay's mate were not happy with the crow being here. The jays don't take any chances. A lot more jays showed up, which made Blue get a little chatty. Looks like Angel is going to be nesting soon. She was making that raspy sound females begin making the last few days before egg laying. Her and Minnie Tim took a few minutes to collect some seeds on a stump. Lentil came by briefly, and Webster showed up in a singing mood. It was a little windy though. It has always seemed to me that they sing this song most on windy days, but I could be wrong and it just seems that way. Next I saw Hatch up in his territory. The feathers on his throat is looking a little rough. Maggie wasn't long showing up too. They don't stick around for long though. Next I checked on Sweet Girl. She isn't even in the slightest worried about me. I guess after all these years, why would she? I was wondering about Blue, so I went out to look. I saw Speck the broiled chickadee on the way. He gave me a lovely little video. And then Blue showed up. He brushed off his beak and then took a little time to do some preening. I got it in my head to go across the highway, something I normally don't do because it's really in the woods over there. I don't want to run into a black bear. I see the gray jay going over there, so I figured I'd go and see if I could find him. Instead, I found a cute rough grouse who wanted to get the heck away from me. So I went back over, and guess who showed up? The little gray jay. Bugger. I noticed a pine siskin nearby watching as I fed the little birds. It ended up coming over too. Been a little while since I've had these guys coming around. It was a little chillier today, so maybe that's why. It's the middle of May and some snow is still around, but that hasn't stopped the birds from nesting. Hermoso has a mate and Lentil has won the male nuthatch. Everything seems to be falling into place. I hope you enjoyed this Bird Nerd Diary. Stay tuned for the next Bird Nerd Diary soon. Take care. Happy birding. And for anyone interested, I have some merch available on Teespring and Etsy. I will provide links to my shops down below in the description as well as in the comments pinned at the top. Thanks a lot for all of your support.